Hey everyone, so sorry for the delay, but hopefully we'll be able to finish the remaining chapters of Shir HaShirim before Shabbos. But let's pick up with Perek Gimel. Let's not waste any time. So just to catch everyone up, right, we're still discussing the love relationship between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Am Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is this dode, this lover, this king from this super high class background, and Am Yisrael is the Raya, this little country girl from this low class family, and their relationship. And we described in Perek Bet how we have this relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu where we're yearning to be close, but there's something keeping us back from a Kadosh Baruch Hu. We're like this beautiful Shoshana, this beautiful rose, but we're stuck amongst the thorns, and it makes us a little bit inaccessible. And how we navigate that relationship. In Perek Gimel, it's a relatively short Perek and a relatively straightforward Perek. We're going to be describing, I guess we're going to title this Perek Gimel, It's Worth the Wait. We're going to describe how when Am Yisrael really wants to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Am Yisrael is willing to put in the hard work to find HaKadosh Baruch Hu's love, even if they're not going to get it right away, but it's worth the wait, because when you eventually find the love at the end of the day, it all becomes worth it. And the imagery is going to be relatively straightforward, but it's beautiful, and that's why I think it's important to read it inside and truly understand it. So first we're going to start with Psukim Aleph through Hay, the first 5 Psukim. Okay, and there's this image, and I have to read it inside because of how gorgeous it is. Al mishkavi balelot. Am Yisrael is talking and says, on my bed at night, I'm like lying there trying to sleep, but I'm not able to sleep because I just miss HaKadosh Baruch Hu so much. I'm so lovesick. Bikashti et she'avan nafshi bikashti v'lo mitzavtiv. I want HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm desperate for him, but I'm not able to get him. I'm not able to find him. So Am Yisrael says, I just can't do this anymore. In the middle of the night, Am Yisrael gets up. The woman gets up and just goes outside. I can't take it anymore. Just waiting for him. I'm gonna have to go out and find him. Starts wandering the streets. Akumana, I'm gonna get up. I'm going to walk around the streets of the city, Bashvakim, Barachovot, all the marketplaces and all the different alleyways and all the different streets, Avaksha, and I'm going to look for Kadosh Baruch Hu, and yet despite the fact that I'm going out in the middle of the night into the streets, and despite the fact that I'm looking for the Kadosh Baruch Hu, because I still can't find him. Pasuk Gimel, Mitzauni Shomerim of YBY. There are like guards walking around the city and the patrol, and Am Yisrael, the woman, bumps into the guards who are patrolling the city, and the guards are a little concerned. It's not safe for a young woman to be walking around the streets of the city at night. And they say, what are you doing here? But Am Yisrael doesn't care about the fact that it's not safe. She's just so lovesick, and she turns to the guards and say, have you seen the one who I loved? Have you seen the man? Have you seen HaKadosh Baruch Hu? They haven't seen him, and Am Yisrael is so down and depressed and downtrodden and turning back to go home. But Kimat Shavarti Mehem. But just before she leaves, or just after she leaves the guards and is all dejected and about to turn home, Ad Shematzati et Shehava Nafshi. I find the one who I love. I find HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I find Hashem. Achastiv, I grab him below our penny when I don't let him go. Ad Sheviti el Beiti mi v'Cheder Horati, until I bring him home to my house. And it's this beautiful imagery of Am Yisrael. It takes so long for Am Yisrael to find HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and finally he finds him. She finds him and takes him home and will never let him go. And think about that imagery of the lover who's waiting for so long to find the one whom she loves. And this is the ideal image and the ideal relationship we have with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That we just are so desperate for him that when times are tough and we have this distance and we have this separation, we just can't bear to be without him, and we just can't live our normal lives without him. That we go out and we try to do anything possible to find a Kadosh Baruch Hu under all costs, no matter how long it takes, no matter how much energy it takes. And think about that's the ideal image that's painted, and is that the reality we have in our lives? That when we don't feel like we have a Kadosh Baruch Hu present in our lives, is it that we turn over everything and turn our lives upside down in order to try to find Hashem, or do we think it's okay and move on? And we should try to like keep in mind this imagery of the lover who just can't go on living normally, can't even sleep until she finds Hashem, and try to see if we can incorporate that into our lives. We have the chorus again in Perek Gimel Pasuk Hay. Hishpati etchem benot Yerushalayim b'tzvaot uva'aliyot hasadeh. Am Yisrael turns to the nations of the world and says, I'm going to make you swear, im ta'iru v'im ta'uru et ahava chetachpatz. Don't you dare try to interfere with my love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I know it looks like we have a distance and tension right now, and it looks like we're separated right now, but I'm telling you, I'm going to get back to love, no matter how long it takes. I'm going to restore this relationship, and don't you dare, nations of the world, try to get in the way between what me and HaKadosh Baruch Hu have. It's this beautiful imagery. So that's the first half of Perek Gimel. Then Am Yisrael takes a step back, and we have this scene that's described of what's going to happen when Am Yisrael finally gets reunited with Hashem. Right? And it's not Am Yisrael isn't talking in this perspective. It's almost like a third perspective, the bird's eye view. We describe Am Yisrael emerging from the desert. Like we said, Am Yisrael is like this little country girl. This is Am Yisrael coming out from the desert, from her home that has almost nothing, just like the desert is barren and has nothing. And she's covered in this pillar of smoke with all these different spices. Remember, we described in earlier prakim how the man would send spices as a present to the woman. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives these spices to Am Yisrael, all these different gifts. The Torah, Hashem adorns Am Yisrael with all these beautiful things. And Am Yisrael is emerging from the desert, which has nothing in it, full of all these gifts. And where does she go? She goes to She goes to the bed of the king, the bed of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that has all these guardians surrounding it, all these guardians, all these warriors who are holding swords, who are all like skilled in war. These aren't necessarily warriors who are there to fight off any enemies, but more like if you go outside Buckingham Palace and you see the guards marching outside Buckingham Palace. They're not there necessarily to fight off any enemies. We're not necessarily scared that there are going to be people who are going to storm Buckingham Palace. But the fact that there are guards surrounding something, the fact that there are soldiers surrounding something, it's a sign of honor. It shows that this is something that is important and significant enough that it deserves and warrants to have guards protect it. And when we describe the bed of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's palace, be it the Mishkan, be it the Beit HaMikdash, surrounded by guards, the point is that this is something that's chashuv, it's something that's significant and important. And this imagery here is Am Yisrael is coming from this desert. The desert has nothing there. And she's emerging full of all these gifts from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. She's being pulled out of her low-class life and being brought to this higher-class life, and goes to the bed, to the house of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which has all these guards surrounding it, because this is so chashuv. And this is Am Yisrael finally, after such a long time of waiting and searching and lying in bed and not being able to sleep and walking out on the streets and not being able to find Hashem, finally she gets the reunion with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and she unites with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In Psukim Tet and Yud, the 9th and 10th psukim of this Perek, we describe this bed of HaKadosh Baruch Hu into which Am Yisrael is being brought. And it's very acute use of language, right? We describe the bed. I'm going to read it in English. Am Yisrael goes to this bed. It's full of of trees from the Lebanon. It has gold. It has silver. It's covered. Its outside is covered with all these materials, but the inside is ratzuf ahava, is full of love. Right? This imagery that, yes, what makes this bed so special and so majestic is, first of all, the fact that there's so many precious materials on the outside. That's describing the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is this high-class person. But really what matters is what's on the inside. It's not the precious materials that are on the inside. It's the love. And we asked the question at the beginning, how is it possible for Am Yisrael to have a relationship with Hashem? Hashem is the super high-class, is described as a super high-class king, and Am Yisrael is a super low-class country girl. And why are we able to have this relationship? And yes, it's partially because the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is able to give us all this stuff, and then externally it changes our appearance from being this dirty country girl covered in dirt, and covered in grime and grossness. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us all these gifts and gives us this makeover to elevate us to a higher status, and that's part of it. But really, it's not just the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu trying to change our status. It's the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has love for us. And the bed, yes, it has all these fancy material, but it's filled with love, and that's the important part. And that love is able to overcome any social gap, any irrational or not cognitively, or any relationship that doesn't make sense. When there's love there, it overcomes everything. And that's what we're describing here. That's the real reason why this love is able to work, despite the fact that there are all these problems. It's the inside is filled with love. It's the imagery we described in the previous Perek bed of Hashem running to us with open arms, even after he exiled us, and he ended the exile early because he misses us so much. Our relationship with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu isn't just one that's technical and that's transactional, but it's one that's filled with love. It defies all logic. It doesn't even make sense. But that's what love is. Finally, we conclude Perek Gimel with the 11th pasuk Yud Aleph. Tze'ena u'r'ena benot Tzion b'melech Shlomo. Am Yisrael turns to the rest of the world and say, go, look, and I want you to go outside and look outside and see what's happening. We see the king, ba'atarash itra lo imo. With the king, i.e. Hashem, is wearing the crown that his mother gave him. And the mother over here is almost like talking about like Am Yisrael gave Hashem this crown. B'yom chatunato v'yom simchat libo. That Hashem is outside wearing a crown on his wedding day. Whether this wedding day is a symbol for us getting the Torah at Har Sinai or it's a symbol for Mashiach. The point is, Hashem, after being separated from us for such a long time, is back and is going to have the wedding with Am Yisrael. And notice how the crown is Itar Lo Imo, and the Mefarshim say that this means the crown was given to Hashem by Am Yisrael. Why the description of Am Yisrael is changed from the lover here to Hashem's mother is not for now. But the point is that Hashem only becomes king in this world, right? It's like we say in Adon Olam, Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzin Nivra. Yes, Hashem was king before everything was created, but B'eit Na'asa B'chafso Kol, only once Hashem made everything, Azai, only then Melech Shemoni Kra, could Hashem be called the king. Meaning HaKadosh Baruch Hu was objectively the king of the universe, but from our subjective perspectives, he's only king once we coronate him, once we recognize him as king. And the point is that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu has this intense love for us, because we're the one who give him his crown, we're the one who makes him king of this world. And basically, just to summarize Perek Gimel, the point is that it's worth the wait. And despite the fact that there's always this tension, this gap that exists between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we should be lovesick, like the woman is lovesick, lying in bed, not able to sleep, trying to go out on the streets, trying to find a HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's hard and takes time and energy, but if you put in the effort, you're going to end up succeeding. And getting this imagery where we're emerging from our low-class society and we're like become super elevated spiritually, and we get to enter from our world into HaKadosh Baruch Hu's world because HaKadosh Baruch Hu has this much love for us. If you put in the work and you put in the energy and you invest in your relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then you're eventually going to emerge and get to the wedding day, which HaKadosh Baruch Hu promises us at the end of Perek Gimel. That's all for now. See you all for Perek Daled soon. Bye, everyone.